to go home for the day? How many of you want to stay here all day? All right, I didn't think so. I bet your teachers are feeling the same way. That's what I thought. Well, good afternoon, you guys. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Hannah, and this is my friend Courtney, and we are so glad that we could just spend a little bit of time with you today. We know that you've had a long day. We know that you've been learning a lot, and it is the end of the day, and you're like, who are these crazy blonde ladies up there? We don't know who they are, but I promise you today's going to be a lot of fun. So the organization that we are with, You Matter, the purpose of what we do is to come into schools, and although we don't get to have one-on-one conversations with you guys, our purpose and our goal is to tell you that you matter. To tell you that your life has value. That you are here for a reason, you are here for a purpose, and even though you have really good days and you have really hard days, to give you skills and tools to help you navigate even the really hard moments. Maybe you had an argument with a friend. Maybe your teacher got upset with you that you were doing something you weren't supposed to do. Maybe you didn't get the grade on an assignment that you wanted. Maybe you didn't get as much playing time in your favorite sport, even though you thought you worked really hard. We understand that maybe when you leave here today, there might be some yelling at home. You might want to yell at your friends on the bus. Things might upset you, but we want to give you skills and tools that are going to help you not have to yell, not have to react, but to take time and to really take a moment and understand what's going on around you. So I'm going to hand it over to my friend Courtney, and she's going to tell you about a little thing called triggers.
Triggers. Do you guys know what triggers are? No? Have you ever heard the term triggered? Yeah. Okay, so can any of you think in your heads, you don't have to tell anyone, think about things that trigger you or things that upset you. You guys got a few ideas? So some of my triggers, because Hannah and I talked about this before, some of my triggers are, well, let's talk about the physical triggers. Does anybody in here, do you remember the Snickers commercial where the guy or the girl is, they're like a totally different person and their friends are like, hey dude, eat a Snickers, and they do, and they turn back into themselves? Well, that's kind of me. Like when I get hungry, I am crabby. Like my blood sugar falls and it's not good. I snap at people, I say things, I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry. The other thing is when I'm tired, so I've got 3 kids at home and I have a baby, he just turned 1. And you know, if you guys have little brothers and sisters, you might know that sometimes those babies and sometimes those big kids do not sleep through the night. So then, you know who else doesn't sleep through the night? Mom. Mom doesn't sleep through the night. So when I'm really tired, I can just like start crying. I'll start crying at stupid stuff, things that upset me. So when you're physically not feeling well, emotionally and mentally, you're probably not reacting as well either. That's why taking such good care of your physical health is important. But sometimes things can upset us that don't have anything to do with the physical. Sometimes you might get on social media and you see something that somebody shared or somebody posted and you're like, why would they say that? Was that about me? And instantly you get upset and you start filling in the blanks, like that was at me, right? And you have this whole dialogue and all of a sudden your whole night is ruined. I also get upset, so this is kind of stupid, but I know I'm not alone. I get like really upset when I hear people chew. Does anyone else feel that same way, where you hear someone chew and you're like, oh man, what is that? Stop! So those are some of my triggers, like physical and more mental. Hannah, what about you?
Okay, so how many of you, if you don't want to raise your hand, you don't have to, can relate to this? So you come to school the next morning and you found out that your friends hung out without you. Ooh, does that not trigger you? Yeah. So all of a sudden you come to school and you thought you were going to have a really good day. You found out your best friends did something last night without you and you weren't invited. So all of a sudden you are triggered. So what happens after you're triggered? All of a sudden maybe you want to cry, you want to hit something, you want to throw something. Inside of you, you have emotions and you want to respond to what you're feeling. So that's something that triggers me, the feeling of being left out. I don't like to be left out. Something that also triggers me is when I know that I have upset a teacher. Or maybe you forget about the assignment, and all of a sudden you know that you let your teacher down. That's something that also triggers me. It makes my stomach kind of curl. I feel like I have butterflies in my stomach, but not in a good way, like you ate something at Taco Bell and it didn't really feel good afterwards. So that would be a trigger for me. So when things like this, when situations like Courtney was saying, when she's tired, when she hasn't gotten enough to eat, when she sees something on social media, maybe if it's like me and your friends left you out, when you have these moments, you have to choose if you're going to respond in a negative way or in a positive way. Can you picture a negative sign in your head? You know what it looks like, just the one line, negative. And then positive is a plus sign. Yeah? Can you show me what that looks like? Can you show me a negative sign? Okay, can you show me a positive sign? Good. So, a negative reaction would be throwing something, maybe yelling. This would be negative. Now, what if positive. What if I told my friend, it's okay that I didn't get to hang out with you because I still want to be your friend anyway? What would that be, a positive or a negative? Positive. Okay. What if you forgot to do your homework and you told your teacher, I'm really sorry, next time I'll do better? Positive. Okay. What happens if you have a game this weekend? How many of you play football? Yeah, do you guys have games this weekend? Yeah. So, maybe. So what happens if you show up to your game on Saturday and your coach tells you you're not going to get to play as much as you thought you were? So you could yell. Is that positive or negative? Negative. What if you said, you know what, coach, I'm going to work really hard and maybe next game? Positive. That's really good. So we want you to understand the importance that you, as an individual, as a 5th and 6th grader, you get to choose how you respond. You get to choose if you're going to have a negative or a positive reaction to what triggers you.
So right now we're going to talk about coping skills. Have you guys ever heard the term coping skills before? One of you, awesome. Okay, well we're going to jump into this. So there are both negative and positive coping skills. And I'm sure that you guys have all seen people in your lives using negative coping skills. Like the big ones that always come to mind first are drugs or alcohol, maybe spending too much or eating too much or gossiping or watching too much TV. These can all be negative coping skills. Some of those can be positive coping skills at the same time. If you want to relax and watch some TV after your homework's done or after school, that's a positive coping skill. Other positive coping skills would be like journaling. Do any of you journal? Good for you guys. Some of the other things that you can do. So I used to be a school counselor, and one thing that I would do, especially with kids in elementary school, is give them stress balls if they were really, really active, really fidgety, or if they had a lot of anxiety. So this is kind of a huge stress ball. They're usually a little bit smaller. But this is just one of those physical things that you can do quietly in class, which is why teachers were they loved it. So you can do this quietly in class. If you're having anxiety, if you're struggling, it's like a stress ball is a really great way to just kind of work it out quietly. The other thing that I like to do is I like to read. So I brought my Kindle to show you guys. It's kind of corny. But when I was working with kids, a lot of kids would say to me when I would suggest reading as a coping skill, they would always say, and I bet some of you are thinking it, but I don't like to read. And my response is, you just haven't found the right book. My husband used to say that. Even when he was in his late 20s, he'd be like, I just don't like to read. And then he started reading books on leadership, which I think would be such a snooze fest. I would never want to read those, but he loves them. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't like to read, and you have some friends who do like to read, ask them their opinion on what you should start reading. Give it a try, because books are such a great way to relax, blow off steam, and learn stuff. The other thing I did, I brought my running shoes, actually walking shoes. They haven't been running in a long, long time. But exercise is a great way to physically engage your body and distract yourself, process through things. Sometimes when I was really struggling, I would go for a run. And it was a really nice time where it was just me. And I could kind of get out of my own head and just listen to the music. So if you're somebody who just needs to get away, go for a run, go for a walk, physically engage yourself, and that is a really good way to clear your mind. I'm going to show you guys one really quick little thing that you can do anywhere and everywhere, whenever you need it. So this is a trick that I picked up, and it's called squaring off your breathing. Have you ever heard about this? No. Okay, so a square has 4 sides. There are 4 steps in this process, and for each step, you count to 4. So all it is you take a big deep breath in, you count to 4 as you're breathing in, so it's like, and then you hold it for 4 counts, and then you blow out your breath for 4 counts, and then you pause for 4 counts. So it's 4 by 4, basically. It's an easy way to remember it. So if you guys are upset in class, in the car, in the movies, at home, this is a really great way to distract your mind and use that physical breathing to regulate. So do you guys want to do this real quick with me? You want to give it a shot? Okay. So remember, 4 by 4. So you want to breathe in for 4 counts. So ready? 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're thinking, I didn't feel any different. You might have to do this 10 times. You might have to do this 100 times, but I promise you, if you're really mad or you're on the verge of tears, this thing's a game changer. So you can do this in class. No one would even know. I mean, you can be really loud, I suppose, if you wanted to. But you could also do it really quietly. So the other thing about coping skills that I want to mention is it's not one size fits all. Just because your mom or dad or your brother or sister or your best friend uses these coping skills, it doesn't mean that's what's going to work for you. It's trial and error. Try different things. So when you're really feeling crappy, try different things to feel better in a healthy and productive way.
Now, what you're going to do is, I want you right now to think